They chose someone else. You watched it happen. Maybe it was sudden. A decision that arrived without warning and knocked the air clean out of your chest. Or maybe it was slow. A gradual drift you saw coming from miles away but prayed wouldn't arrive. Either way, it arrived. And in the aftermath of that choice, in the silence that followed, you asked yourself the question that every person in pain eventually asks. Why? Why them? Why not you? Why, after everything, did it go the way it went? But here is what nobody told you in that moment. The universe was not finished. It was not finished with you. It was not finished with them. And it was certainly not finished with what exists between you. Stay with me. Because what the universe has already set in motion, the thing that is quietly unfolding right now in ways neither of you can fully see yet, is going to rewrite everything you thought this story was about. Segment number 1. The choice that broke you. Let's sit with what actually happened. Because before we can understand where this is going, we have to be honest about where it has been. When someone chooses another person over you, the pain is not simple. It is not just heartbreak in the way people casually use that word. It is a specific, particular kind of devastation that carries a question inside it. Am I not enough? That question is the real wound, not the person, not even the choice. The wound is what their decision made you believe about yourself. And that belief, that quiet, corrosive whisper that says you were found lacking, is the lie that the universe is already in the process of dismantling. Because here is the truth. Their choice was never a verdict on your worth. It was a redirection. The universe does not operate on the same timeline as human impatience. It does not measure love in weeks or months, or the anxious ticking of a heart that wants certainty right now. It measures in something larger, in growth, in readiness, in the precise alignment of two people who have done enough work on themselves to hold something real without destroying it. And sometimes, the most important detour a person takes is the one that looks, from the outside, like the wrong road entirely. Segment number 2, what is happening to them right now? You need to understand something about the person who chose someone else. They are not as settled as they appear. The new relationship, the choice they made, carries a particular kind of weight that only they can feel. The weight of comparison. The quiet, involuntary measuring that happens in private moments when the person beside them says something, does something, or fails to do something. And in those moments, a name surfaces. Yours. Not dramatically. Not in the way of regret speeches or tearful confessions, just quietly, the way a song finds you when you weren't looking for it, the way a smell carries you somewhere you didn't plan to go. You surface. Because the things that made you different, the specific, unrepeatable quality of how you loved, how you listened, how you showed up, those things do not disappear simply because a decision was made. They live in the comparison. They live in the contrast between what was chosen and what was left behind. This person is discovering something slowly and painfully that they could not see when they were still close enough to take you for granted. What they had and what they gave up. Segment number 3, why the universe allowed the pain. This is the part that requires you to trust something larger than what you can currently see. The universe allowed this, not because it is indifferent to your pain, not because you deserved the hurt, but because the version of you that existed before this moment, as beautiful and worthy as that person was not yet the full version. There is a version of you being built right now in the aftermath of this. A version that knows their own worth, not because someone confirmed it, but because they survived someone failing to see it and chose themselves anyway. A version that will never again shrink to fit a space too small for them, never again negotiate for the basic dignities of being chosen, being seen, being valued. That version is being forged right now, in the exact fire you are standing in. The universe does not waste pain. Every moment of genuine heartbreak is also a moment of reconstruction. Beneath the surface of what feels like loss, something is being built in you that no relationship outcome could have constructed any other way. The pain was never the destination. It was the process. Segment number 4. The plan already in motion. Here is what the universe has already set in motion that you cannot yet see from where you are standing. The person who chose someone else is moving toward a moment of undeniable clarity, a moment that cannot be rushed, cannot be forced, and cannot be manufactured by any strategy or intention on your part. It simply comes, the way all real things come, on their own time, in their own form, without asking for permission. And when it arrives, it will not look like a dramatic reversal. It will not come wrapped in the language of the romantic movies. It will come quietly, a message, a moment of honesty, a confession that was too long in coming but arrives exactly when it was meant to. Or something entirely different will happen. Something the logical mind cannot predict because it has not yet happened. The universe does not always return the exact thing that was lost. Sometimes it returns something better, a love built on the foundation of everything this experience taught you. A person who walks in already knowing your value because they were shaped by their own detours to recognize it. Either way, what is coming is not nothing. What is coming is the next chapter. And the next chapter was written long before this one started hurting. Segment number 5, what you must not do. Now comes the most important part, because knowing the universe has a plan means nothing if you spend the waiting time destroying what is being built in you. Do not chase. This is the hardest instruction and the most important one. Every instinct in you, every nerve ending shaped by love and loss, will tell you that doing something is better than doing nothing. That reaching out, checking in, making yourself visible is productive. It is not. Chasing a person who has made a choice is not love. It is fear wearing love's clothing. And the universe cannot send you what is meant for you while your hands are still reaching for what chose to leave. Let them go. Not with bitterness, not with performance, not with a carefully constructed silence designed to make them notice your absence. Let them go genuinely, completely, with the quiet dignity of someone who knows their own worth and refuses to negotiate for it. Because the moment you truly release the outcome, the moment your peace stops, depending on what they do or don't do, is the exact moment the universe can begin moving. It cannot move you towards something new while you are anchored to something old. Release the anchor. Segment number 6, the signs to watch for. In the days and weeks ahead, pay attention, not with anxiety, not with the desperate scanning of someone hoping for a specific outcome, but with the open, curious awareness of someone who trusts that things are unfolding correctly, even when the surface looks still. Watch for the unexpected thought that arrives out of nowhere, not about them, but about yourself. A clarity about what you actually want, a sudden certainty about a direction, a decision, a next step that has nothing to do with anyone else. That is the universe speaking. Watch for the new presence, the person who appears in your orbit and carries a different kind of energy. Not the familiar fire of what you already know, but something steadier, something that feels less like electricity and more like coming home. Watch for the moment their name stops carrying the same weight it did. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring about yourself more. That moment is not loss. That moment is arrival. Segment number 7, what this was always really about. Here is the secret at the center of everything. This was never just a love story about two people. It was always a love story about you and yourself. Every relationship we enter, Every person we choose and every person who chooses or doesn't choose us is a mirror. It shows us something about what we believe we deserve, what we are willing to accept, and what we still need to heal. The person who chose someone else showed you something. Maybe they showed you that you had been settling for a love that was always half present. Maybe they showed you that you had been so afraid of being alone that you confused availability with compatibility. Maybe they showed you exactly how strong you are, because you went through this and you are still standing. Whatever the mirror revealed, that is the real gift. Not the relationship, not even the person, the revelation. You now know something about yourself that you did not know before, something that will change every relationship that comes after this, something that will make the next love, the right love, possible in a way it simply wasn't before. The universe knew you needed to know it. That is why this happened exactly the way it did. They chose someone else, and the universe said, "Perfect." Because what is being built for you on the other side of this pain is not a consolation prize. It is not a settling or a second option or a lesser version of what you wanted. It is the real thing. The thing that could only reach you after you walked through exactly this, after you felt this, after you grew from this into the version of yourself that is finally ready to receive it without losing yourself in the process. You were not passed over. You were protected. You were redirected towards something your heart does not yet have the language for, but your soul already recognizes. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that the universe has never once built a path that led nowhere. Yours leads somewhere extraordinary, and it begins right here, right now, with you choosing yourself first, fully, and without apology.